Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're doing a recap and review of Ready to Love Season 3 Episode 6, Friends with Benefits, where we're going to find friends of the ladies coming to visit. Most of the men try to say the right things, others crash and burn, and one guy gets eliminated and sent home. But before we jump into this video, smash that subscribe button if you're new here. If you like the video, smash that like button and drop a comment down in the comment section, because I do enjoy engaging with my viewers. So without further ado, let us jump into this video. So on this particular subject, this is going to bring attention to Adriana, Rashid. Also, we're going to talk about Alex, and then of course her guy, Brian. Now, one of the issues of concern for both Adriana and Alex is whether they like or love a guy for who he is, or is this just lust? Now, for example, starting with Alex, Brian doesn't really make her friend Tanisha feel, secure with what his answers were, or comfortable. Mainly because he isn't saying really the right answers. And for her friend Tanisha, it seems that Alex's guard is up, which of course Alex thinks it is, because she just isn't as open as she thought, rather than her guard being up because she needed to protect herself. And honestly, I can understand why, because after everything that happened with Alicia, even though I think he was trying to, there was some omission in his statements from last week. And, I don't want to go back and really rehash that whole thing, but I can see why she has the doubt in her guards because of everything that happened with Alicia. And then with Adriana and her friend Morgan, who seems to utterly enjoy Rashid. She thinks that he is ace, but there is a problem with Adriana also liking Calfani. Now, Morgan pointed out to her the reasons that she thinks she likes Calfani, and for the most part it seemed to be superficial, and it's not about any values or goals or any substance that he has. It's all about the physicality when it comes to, Calfani. Whereas Rashid, it seems to be a lot deeper. And, I'm going to give a summary about some of the couples. She's one of them. But I can totally get where her friend Morgan is actually coming from. I honestly think that with, Adriana, she definitely is looking at the physicality, and she even said that Calfani isn't usually Adriana's usual type, but she wanted to explore it. So, I mean, when she described what she had in common with him, it's all physical. I like her better with Rashid, but we'll talk about that later. So now with this topic of folks trying to say all the right things, we got Winter. We're going to be talking about Joy. We also have Edwin. And then, of course, Jay. And then we have Naya. Also Chris, because that's a big subject from the episode. And then, of course, we also had the girlfriends that come out to see Denise when she was trying to sort out her things with Chris, and her connection also with Calfani. Oh, one thing about these sessions, it seemed like it was some type of quiz. I mean, Chris utterly failed when it came to the financial questions when she was talking to him about partnership. Well, in his case, it was a partnership. In her case, it was more of he has to be responsible for the finances. And that couldn't have went any worse. And here's my take on that. each couple get to have a sit-down conversation to see which direction they want to go when it comes to finances. There are some couples, like what Chris was saying, that, let's do it as a partnership, and they're okay with that. There are a lot of people that, as they say, build an empire together. And then there's also the idea of, as well, that Naya had, where there are some guys who still want to be able to provide everything in the household. If you need to figure out which one you're looking for and align yourself with the person who has the same ideas. I won't say she's wrong. I won't say he's wrong. I just think they need to be matched with people who got the same core values when it comes to dealing with the finances. This is also a subject that I had with Olivia and Brett in Married at First Sight. If you guys watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the other thing is that, of course, Naya's trying to get pregnant. She wants him to take care of everything. That works if you find somebody with the same core value. And I mean, even Joy thought that was pretty interesting and bold statement. And so now we have with Denise, we have her friend Tara, who is interviewing both Kalfani and Anthony. And, for the most part, they gave pretty good, honest answers. I wouldn't, say that they were over the top or underwhelming. But, they were pretty much straightforward on where they stood in regards to their interest with Denise. The thing is, which one is she going to pick? And I honestly think that she got more, I guess, a physical connection with Kalfani, whereas it's more deeper when it came to Anthony. So I prefer that one instead. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of summary of what I thought about some of the couples. In regards to Jay, I just think that, I don't know, he needs to kind of bounce back from everything that happened the previous week. I think he's trying to make strides, but the thing is that there's some question on whether he is credible or not with everything that he's saying. So I don't know about him. We'll have to continue to watch him. As for Naya and now her connection that she has with Edwin, it was kind of weird. Of course, we saw what happened with Chris, and she was so turned off about the finance thing. And the moment that Edwin started to talk about him being the leader in the household, and no, I get to take care of the bills, and all that, that was a huge turn on. So I don't want to say that she has I don't even want to throw that GD or the gold digger mentality out there. She just, I don't know, she seemed extremely turned on about those things that he said, that she actually went in for a kiss that shocked the mess out of Edwin. I mean, guys, let me know what you think about Miss Naya. She was a whole lot different than what I expected and what I've seen in the past couple weeks. I mean, I'm not going to judge her for whatever her decisions that she makes was best for her. She just needs to find somebody who line up with that. And honestly, if that's Edwin, okay, if he's down with that, but we'll see. And then the whole thing with Brian and Alex, I think she's a really sweet girl. She is guarded. Brian is another one of those who had a similar issue like Jay last week, but I don't know. It's just something superficial about some of the things that he's saying. I really don't know him personally, so I'm going to stay objective. But from what we heard, I can see why she's guarded. In regards to Adriana and Rashid, I honestly think she has more depth when it comes to Rashid. Even her girlfriend said the same thing. They have more of a connection to me. My question is where's her level of attraction with him? That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, he's an attractive guy, but she seemed more physically attracted to Kalfani. And then speaking of Kalfani, we have Denise, who's also interested in him as well, and then Anthony. I honestly like Denise with Anthony better. Now, there seems to be some form of a connection, and I don't know why she was making that face when he was talking. I just thought that was kind of weird. But maybe she was just being funny and playful, I'm not going to take it further than that. But honestly, I like what she has with Anthony over Calfani. I just think it's sexual chemistry with those two. Calfani is an attractive guy. She says that they connect over on a deeper level. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that she's better with Calfani? Or you think that she would have more of some substance with Mr. Anthony? So, yeah, that's where I am at with some of these couples. Let me know what your idea of of who you think should be here, shouldn't be here, who should be a couple, who should not be a couple. I mean, we had some shockers this week. I was really shocked by Naya because I was rooting for her and Chris for the first several weeks, and it went left. So we'll see. So speaking of Chris and Brian, Nephew Tommy meets with the ladies because the ladies have the power this week. And Naya was definitely the main scene in this particular session that they had. Because Nephew Tommy I don't know why I call him Nephew Tommy, because I think of him from the Steve Harvey show. But Tommy, told Naya, hey, you stuck on Chris. She was like, I ain't stuck on nobody. I don't know where you get that from. I mean, she is extremely turned off by that guy, all because he said, I want to share and work together to build a future. Again, she have her options. He had his. They just not on the same wavelength. But she definitely took the scene. And then, of course, we had Adriana because of the thing that she was looking at. Everybody was just looking at her because it's like, who is this? And Denise's face was priceless because she's looking at Naya like, whoa. Because we've never heard Naya so outspoken as she was in this episode. So I found that very, very interesting. And I look like Tommy did too, But, my thing is hopefully she'll find somebody who lines up with the core values that she has. Then Adriana was still torn, of course, between Rashid and Calfani. What was so funny, of course, after Alex was explaining her situation with her friend, with Brian and being guarded. When it came to Denise saying that she has more of a chemistry with Calfani because we line up and have so many things in common. Adriana's face was priceless. But also Joy's face was priceless because she was about to chime in on Naya over Chris. And we found out that they were actually friends way before this. So now it's elimination time, and we have the bottom two, which is, of course, Brian and Chris. Denise gets to talk to Brian and, kind of give him a heads up of what the ladies think about him. You need to be more open and you need to be more honest and, it sound not so superficial. And she told him, but we still gonna keep you around. So he was not eliminated, even though he was in the bottom two. And you know what? Hopefully he'll straighten up and fly right and maybe get this thing right with Alex. And then our other person in the bottom two was Chris, which he struggled. He went from being at the top with Naya to straight to the bottom. And I'm glad that they were able to use Joy as the person, or choose Joy, not use. Choose Joy to be able to talk to him, because I think it would have been more easier for him that way, because him and Joy have been longtime friends prior to the show. And of course, Joy said, you know what, even though the girls say that you're not ready to love, I still think you are, but, we had to let you go. So unfortunately, it was very disappointing to Chris. Good luck to him, and he'll find that queen who wants to do exactly what his ideal is. So let's do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out in one of the videos, just comment down in the comment section. I do check, and I will select your name and I will shout you out. So our first shout out is to Tisha Rain. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And then we also have Tanga Hardiman. Thank you as well for engaging in the channel. We appreciate that as well. And then last but not least, we have Stephanie J. INC, or Steph J. INC. Thank you as well for engaging in the channel. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are, and we will see you next week.